Here's your host, Chelsea Edwards.
Hey, besties. Welcome to another episode of Chattin With Chelsea. I'm your daytime bestie, Chelsea Edwards. Today's show is about rewriting what is possible. We have two previously single moms, one who took her son's level 3 nonverbal autism diagnosis and turned it into a purpose, creating a community that supports families through inclusive events and scholarships. And our first guest went viral after sharing a powerful moment, her son walking across the stage after doctors once said he wouldn't develop past the cognitive level of a 13-year-old. Now he is graduated, lifeguard certified, got 2 jobs, and is going to college. And welcome to Chattin' with Chelsea, Angelina Dumaro. Wow, what were you feeling in that moment?
I was just so proud. That's the best I can say. I was proud. I was in awe. I was just beaming with joy, and I was also very, just I was overwhelmed with so many emotions.
Yes, I mean, talk about a way to shut up the naysayers.
Yes.
What were you told about him? Because you touch on that, like. You know, he was told that he couldn't do several things, but what specifically were you told while he was growing up?
I was told that he would not develop past the age of 13. And at the time, it just, hit me like a ton of bricks. I went through a depression. I went through just wanting to just be by myself and just trying to figure things out by myself. And then, I at the end of the day, I was like, I can't do this alone. I need to start assembling my village. And they're the ones that have walked alongside throughout our journey.
Wow. So he was diagnosed at 3 years old, and that's when you were feeling all these feelings, trying to sort it out, started building that village. What is Frankie up to now?
Frank is just amazing. He graduated last year from high school, which is something they said he'd never do. So he graduated high school. He's had several jobs, including as a lifeguard. He's worked at a nursery. He's working at a local, coffee shop now, and everything that they say that he wouldn't do, from like graduating to driving to even going to college now. He's been able to just work very hard, and it has not been easy. It's definitely, what might take a typical child, maybe a day or two or a couple of hours to do, it may take them a little longer, but that's okay. We've learned to accept the fact that, everybody learns differently, everybody experiences the world differently, and that's the beauty about growing up with someone who is neurodivergent, that they teach you about different perspectives.
Wow. And then you wrote this book.
Yes.
Based on your son. Tell us about Franquisito's world.
Yes, so his name is Frank, but when he was growing up, they used to call him Franquisito, and basically that's just like, little Frank. And it's based off of, just like his earlier years, growing up in a multi-generational Latino household. So I was a single mom at the time, raising this, son with special needs. So I needed a village at home as well. So my great-grandparents, my grandparents, his great-grandparents really stepped up. And there were a lot of challenges there too, because my grandparents didn't speak, English. And then Frank was, he was pretty much, his language very limited. So there were all these barriers, but we found a way to make it work. We found a way to communicate. We found a way to just, just kind of lift each other up. And the book is just about that. It's about everyday moments. It's meant to open minds. It's meant to open hearts. It's meant to start conversations. I want it used as a tool in the classrooms, in the libraries, and basically I just wanted to just help build empathy and kindness and understanding. Because with Frank, it was never about a label. It was not about fixing him. It was not about changing him. It was about trying to understand him and just adapt to his needs, which is what we were able to do.
Now tell me why those conversations are important.
Yes, especially in communities of color, for example, and especially in Latino households. A lot of parents, there is a stigma behind special needs and autism and whatnot. So I see this as, it's okay. Like let's normalize it. Why can't we put a child with special needs, with the disability, like on a book and talk about it? And then I'm hoping that it'll spark conversations and that it'll get people to understand that difference does not mean deficient. It just means different.
Man, that is beautiful.
Thank you.
What's been the response from other parents with children with special needs?
I think it's been about the representation, right? So you hardly read stories about neurodivergent kids on a children's book, and then you throw in there like a Salvadoran mom. I'm originally from El Salvador, so we made it very personal, and I think a lot of parents see that they see a little bit of themselves in there, and I'm just so overwhelmed by the support that I've been able to get.
Man, I love it. We got to talk more about how you built that village, the conversations that you've had, and more about Frankie's success.
Yes.
So we're going to take a quick commercial break. You guys, we will be right back with more right after this. Angelina Dumuro is the author of Frankicito's World. So you were just telling me how this is like a window into your son's daily life.
Yes.
I love the dedication. Let me just read this piece right here. May this book stand as a testament to all children, neurotypical and neurodivergent, who have ever been told they have limited potential. Yes, you can. And when others doubt you, say, watch me.
Yep.
Watch me. That is so good. And your son has, again, proven the haters wrong.
Yes.
He's done so many things, worked, even dating.
Yes.
They're trying to get in there.
Yes, we talk about girls, so that's, that's funny, and it just kind of shows how far he's come.
Yes.
It's like, I'm like, oh my God, Frank, just look at you. Look at how far you've come.
Yes. So looking at how far he's come, parents are going to say, how did she do it?
Yes.
And you attribute that to your village.
Yes.
Like, having a whole team. So who would you include in this village to help raise Frank?
Oh my God, all the educators, the baseball coaches, the librarians, the therapists, the neighbors even, my own family, my husband, oh my God, my husband's amazing now. Like, they do jujitsu together.
Oh, cool.
So it's really been just like everybody just kind of has poured themselves like onto my son, like all the care, all the knowledge, the patience. And if it wasn't for everybody who has come into his life, like, it's been a revolving door of just, like I said, of educators and therapists and just specialists. They're the reason why we're here. It's not because, it might be because of a mom that never gave up, for sure, right? Because I was a mama bear there, but really everybody just has left just a little bit of themselves, and they poured it onto Frank, and that's what we have now. Yes.
What did those conversations look like? Were you introducing Frank to your neighbors and, other people and giving them the heads up, or just letting things flow naturally? Letting things flow naturally.
I never wanted my son to feel different, because I don't see it, as a bad thing. I just wanted him to just be himself, and for people to accept him for who he was, and for him to just be authentically Frank, and that is, who he is, and with his quirkiness and his humor and just the way he does things. Like, I love every bit of him. He's just amazing. But like I said, it's been everybody who's come into his life and just shown him and gotten him to where he is today.
Yes, I mean, he seems like a really cool kid, or big kid now, I will say.
Yes.
How did you find the right therapist on this journey as well?
A lot of it was also just referrals, like talking to other mommies, getting to know, obviously knowing the school very well and advocating for him. And I just, I just kind of like wanted to just talk to everybody and just talk to them about their own experiences. And the thing is that everybody's journey is going to be different, right? right? Frank's journey is Frank, and other parents are going to have their own obstacles and challenges and different experiences. But it's just the fact that you just never give up on your children, and that's part of the reason why Frank is who he is today.
Mm-hmm. Now you have had different therapists for him over the years, so we're talking speech. And what else?
He had ABA therapy where they were teaching him, when he was smaller, like down to like, hey, this is how you tie your shoelaces, this is how you brush your teeth. So all of that basic knowledge. Like when he was little, he did a lot of ABA. He did a lot of speech therapy. He's also just, also like talk to therapists just to kind of, because I tell him, Frank, I want you to talk to people if you're feeling a certain kind of way. So mental health is very important for me and for him. So all of that, and just honestly, it's just been about working very closely with all of his teachers throughout the years, and then kind of understanding like, how does Frank learn? How will he thrive? How can we bring out the very best in him? And then together we've been able to like figure it out. When he was smaller, I did a lot of advocacy for him. I did a lot of speaking for him. Now, I mean, he's doing it all, right? He signed himself up for college. He's going to a community college. Nice. He picked out his classes. He did his own taxes yesterday. My husband's an accountant, but he did his own taxes. So it's just been like all these little things that when I think back, 16 years, and it's like they said he couldn't get past the age of 13, and now this kid is just showing them wrong in so many different ways.
Yes. Now, were there times on this journey where you tried a therapist or you tried a teacher and they weren't a good fit, or maybe he outgrew that person or their instruction? How would you advise parents to navigate those types of situations?
Just to follow their gut, honestly, and just to follow their instinct, and just to have like communication, right? And if they think that there's something's wrong or something's off, then just follow your instinct, because nobody knows your child the way that a parent does.
Awesome. What else do you say to those parents who heard some of the same things that you heard? Like, your child will not move past this stage in life.
Don't let that shock like freeze you, because it can do that, right? You can easily just kind of just freeze and just throw your hands up in the air. No, that should mobilize you. Just know too that, like I said, everybody's journey is going to be different, and that's okay too. And that's what it's been about, with Frankisito's world. It's his own journey. It's his story. It's a love letter to him. This was never meant to be like a book. I mean, I'm even self-published, right? But it was never really meant to be a book. It was meant to be a gift for his graduation. And then I was like, you know what? No, this has bigger meaning. It has greater significance. I wanted to teach other kids to be more accepting of other kids. So I see this book, it's not just for like the neurodivergent, community, it's for every child, so that they can learn to be more, more kind and more understanding, more patient. And that's why I'm just so proud of this little masterpiece we created.
Yes, absolutely. You did such a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing it with us and the world. And of course, we were wishing Frank the best of luck and so much more success that he has ahead of him. Where can people find the book?
My website, angelinadumero.com.
Yes, and you got a special edition too.
Yes, for Autism Awareness Month.
Yes. All right, you guys, check it out. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Shaylin Kofer is the founder of Beyond the Diagnosis Foundation, helping uplift families with children with autism. So you found out that your son was diagnosed. He was diagnosed when he was just 2 years old, and you were a single mom during this time.
Yes.
Tell us about the special barriers that you have to overcome being a single mom with a child with autism.
So a few of the barriers could include me not being able to complete exams on time, my son running in the room and screaming while I'm completing an exam. I actually failed an exam one time.
Because you were going to school at this time.
Yeah, at the time I was in school. Another barrier could be getting fired from jobs, which has also happened to me.
Okay, so what happened when you were fired?
So at the time that I was fired, I was working at the post office, and Jackson had some infection that was eating at him, and we had to stay at the hospital in Dallas for almost a week. And by the time I got back to work, I went in, and the postmaster just came up to me and was like, hey, your schedule just isn't aligning with ours. We're going to have to let you go. And I explained to them what the situation was. I had a doctor's excuse, and they said, well, we just need you like on call. And so that was just the end of that position. And I didn't find another job for probably about 6 months after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are there no protections for that, especially when it comes to single moms? Like, you are the go-to. You have to step in and rescue, especially if you don't have that full village for whatever reason. So there was nothing that you could do about that?
No, they just said to go online and apply for like a receptionist job. And that was kind of just it.
Wow. Okay. So you're having trouble finishing school.
Yeah.
Can't keep a job because you have to be called for an emergency. How did you figure things out?
At the time, I believe I was staying with my parents. They were a very, very good support system throughout that time. I mean, they stayed at the hospital with us the entire time, his dad as well. But they provided for us financially. They put a roof over our head. And then until I was able to raise enough money, of course, we ended up getting our own place. And then I found a new position, and I started a new job from there.
What was your mindset like during that time?
It was kind of like no one is listening to me type of deal. It was like, well, I mean, it was either let my son not be here anymore or come to this job and do the job that you expect of me. And it was always going to be my kid first. So
yeah, you got to take care of what you got to do, period. So now you've started this organization. Do you get a lot of single moms looking for help with what you do?
Yeah, so we have gotten a lot of feedback. I tell everyone all the time that this was really just an overnight call-in, honestly. So I graduated from college on May 9th of 2025. The very next day, thank you. The very next day, it was kind of just, I've been planning. So, I mean, I dropped out of school 7 different times, and then I finally graduated in 25. And the next day that I woke up, it was kind of like, okay, I've been, preparing for this moment, but I never guess what was next.
And I'm sorry, because I gave you a congratulations, but you need a whole round of applause.
Thank
7
you.
times, and you still kept going and got that diploma. So then after you graduated, you're like, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah, that was exactly my mindset. So at 2 a.m., I just jumped out of my sleep. Honestly, I jumped out of my sleep. And I kind of thought, okay, well, if I'm going through this, I know that there are other moms going through the same struggle, because in Little East Texas, where we live, I mean, there's no resources. Everybody's getting diagnosed with anything. And it's just like rates are raising at this point. And so I made a Facebook post, and it was kind of like, I'm going to offer a single mom a scholarship who's also navigating the path that I'm going through. And I've got so much feedback from that. I mean, even the Lufkin Daily News reached out to me, which in Little East Texas, Lufkin, where we live, that's major to us. So they reached out to me. They covered the story, and we actually gave away our first scholarship in September of 2025.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, you also do events to get families together. They had children with autism. You have resources for them as well.
Yeah. So within our mission statement, within our vision, we want to create a world where every child is included, every parent's included, everyone's seen. So we take basically the traditional values and we flip it, and we put, I guess, a little spice on it.
Okay, we like a little spice, yeah.
So for example, in elementary school, there's father-daughter dances. What we did is we took that dance and we made a mommy and me prom.
Oh, nice.
Because first, moms never have a dance with their kids, but especially moms raising kids with disabilities. And that's that had a really, really good turnout. I think we had almost 40 families show up for that event.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been wanting to get out there and dance.
Yeah.
Well, good for you.
Thank you.
You also want people, the whole world really, to understand autism. So what are your tips for people who may not have someone with special needs in their families or that they know personally? What are a couple of tips you can give them to help understand autism better?
So one of my main tips that I always give everyone is to always support the parent as well as the child. If the parent isn't taken care of in any form or fashion, whether it's special needs or not, the kid isn't taken care of. Another tip that I could say is that all kids aren't the same. So, I mean, with special needs, there's different levels of autism, there's Down syndrome, there's all kinds of disabilities that you can think of. And I mean, my child being nonverbal, he's autistic, but you may not see other autistic kids also not talking as well. So understand that not all kids are the same. Everyone's different in the special needs world or the regular world. Yeah.
Well, your beautiful son is now 5 years old. And he's nonverbal, but we have heard him here in the background. So we're gonna meet him in just a little bit. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. And here we've got Jackson joining us. Yeah, he wanted some spotlight today. Thank you for bringing him. Thank you all for coming and sharing your stories. Now, Shaylin, where can families, especially in East Texas, connect with you for Beyond the Diagnosis?
So we have a website, beyondthediagnosisfoundation.com, and then we're also on all social media platforms. Full name, no spaces.
Excellent. Thank you all for all the work that you're doing. Remember to check out the book, Frankicito's World. You guys subscribe and interact with us on YouTube at Chattin With Chelsea. And keep up with us on social, Chelsea Fox 26, and we'll see you on the next Chattin With Chelsea.